All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking about a favorite issue of mine. And I figured I would just do a whole video about it. And so buckle up as we explore this in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. All right, Patreon, YouTube memberships, buy me a coffee. You want to support this channel? I've put out these videos about the satanic cult that is interfering with the entertainment world, and it's getting very obvious out there. Got some nice responses, but if you want to do your part to help, because the algorithm isn't my friend, I've said this many times on this channel. YouTube memberships and also Patreon on a monthly basis. Today is the first of the month, so typically we lose some patrons right now, which is unfortunate, but I'd like to gain some new ones. So $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you can afford, it would really help out. If I had 5% of my subscribers doing something on Patreon, I would not even talk about money. I would never even bring it up. I'd be like, man, you patrons are the best. Thank you. That's all I would have to say. And just keep doing what you're doing. So, before I get into this topic, which is something that I talk about frequently on this show, um, FM and Old Habits Die Hard. This is just a great album by a great lead singer and his band. I'm talking about Steve Overland. He's been around for a very long, like, this is a 40-year-old thing. And most people here in the States don't know who he is. So there's the band. They are from the UK. There is no support system for this kind of music when it comes out. There's no record label promotions. Everything just gets put over to Spotify, and that's where people go to find it. I buy CDs. I got this on Amazon, came in like a day or two. So if you want to buy a physical copy, that would help the band. And it's a conversation starter. So speaking of conversations I've had with patrons, some of my patrons go to concerts. I've got two or three that basically send me reports from the road. I was in Houston and just saw, Styx. And I'm like, cool. Um, I am very much, I would say, not opposed to going to concerts, but I look at my life as a set of experiences. And hearing the music live, seeing a band that is, in some cases, like two generations past their prime. Let's just be honest, at least 1.5 generations removed from when they were at their peak. I'm talking about with the original lineup or with a really strong lineup with a singer who could hit every high note. Now you have to kind of cringe and you're praying a little bit. I say a little prayer. I'm like, come on, Kevin, you can do it. Come on, Tommy, whoever. I'm just throwing out random names, not mentioning anybody too specifically, but I'm sure you've been there, right? Um, I had this long discussion with someone about Lou Graham. They went to see Lou Graham, and I'm like, yeah, Lou is a legend. I'm trying to keep it positive. I love Lou Graham. He's the best. However, um, and I'm not going to go any further with that. You're going to go pay money to see somebody, and you're going to talk to yourself about this and say, well, he's not. And I get this a lot. Well, they're not as good as they used to be. I did this video about AC/DC. Someone sent me footage. They were over in Germany when AC/DC just played there. And I'm a pretty big AC/DC fan. I'm not into all the demonic stuff that they interweave into their lyrics and so forth, but the music itself is really good. And so I listened to about a minute of it and I was just appalled. Like, how would anyone, here's like the self awareness thing, right? Somebody wouldn't go outside, you know, looking like complete crap and then just walking around in society. I don't know. I'm trying to do an example here of this. Like, you wouldn't be self aware of what you look like to other people. And maybe you haven't bathed in a month or something, or Your skin is crawling with, I don't know, some sort of disease, right? And you would probably like, you know what? I just can't walk out there like this. Maybe I put a bag over my head. Maybe I put on a mask, like a ski mask, not a, one of those masks that did absolutely zero, and people are still wearing them to prevent some sort of thing from happening to them. Anyway, before I get off on a tangent, so if a singer goes up on stage and he's like, yeah, they won't care. That shouldn't be a thing. If you don't care, if you're going to go hear somebody that sounds like crap, you can go down to the bar on the corner for karaoke night. And I bet you somebody there is going to be able to sing the song properly, or go find the best tribute or cover band in your area and pay a lot less, drive a lot less, and hear the music that you grew up listening to. Well, those aren't the real people, Dave. It's not the same. Most of these bands, by the way, aren't the real people anymore. They've got a label. I mean, you could interchange. You could put that label on your local band and say, here is, like, there's a band in Ohio, I think they may have broken up, called Hot Blooded. They play the music of Foreigner, or they did. They sounded really good. To me, they sounded as good as the current Foreigner. And I'm not driving, if I'm in Ohio, that is, and I'm not paying a fortune. And those things to me are more appealing at this stage than the marquee and the brand. All right. Just because a franchise has the name doesn't mean they're representing what they did in the past. It just doesn't. I mean, there are numerous examples of this. Lynyrd Skynyrd, they're out there and they're different than they used to be. Sorry, Ronnie was one of a kind. There are other bands, Little River Band, the Guess Who. I mean, I've mentioned many of them here on this particular show, and some of which, by the way, people aren't really going to see in droves. But you've got these, triple bills where you get Foreigner and Styx and John Waite. By the way, just want to mention John Waite. John Waite sounds amazing. All right. He just stands out from everybody vocally. And I know he didn't do as many gymnastics vocally as some other singers have done, but his tone, you just know as soon as he starts singing, it's like, yep, it's John Waite. And he hasn't lost a step. And he's like the opening act for, I don't know, I think it's, what is it, Styx and Foreigner. Like, he's the first band that comes out, and he's amazing. I mean, now, would I go see John Waite if he was close by? Maybe. I'd probably go see him on his own, because I have really no interest in seeing Styx. I've seen them in 2010, but now I'm getting off on a tangent as to individual bands. But this is pretty much the way I feel about things these days. And I just look at life as a set of experiences. And even though I'll hear some music, I'll experience a very long drive to and from the concert. I'll experience the inconvenience of being in a stadium and needing to get to a bathroom, all right, where things are blocked off, or because there's so many people, it's hard to get in and out of certain areas, climbing flights of stairs. And it's not like I'm, disabled or anything, but it's rough. It's just not fun. Now, for some people, this isn't a hassle. They don't care. And there are other things. The cost of merchandise is ridiculous. The cost of parking is stupid. If you want to buy one beverage, let's just put away the $14 beer. You could buy an $8 or $9 soda instead. Like a Diet Coke will cost you like $9. And you're sitting there going, okay, this is just soda. In fact, they have a machine that just mixes it, and it probably costs them like maybe 25 cents with the ice, maybe 30, 40 cents at the most. And they're charging like 10x or 20x on this one little thing that they did for me. Ridiculous. All right. The whole experience is stupid. And yeah, I get it. People love to spend money if they have disposable income. They want to enjoy their life. Please do that. We need people enjoying their life, especially in the world we're living in. I'm just telling you, for me, this isn't enjoyable. All right. It's the cons outweigh the pros like 90% of the time, like the same ratio as the bands. Do they sound like they used to? 90% of them don't. They sound worse. And you know, I know the technology is better. The listening technology is better. The speaker system, the mix. You're basically, when you go to a concert, the mixing board is almost like a studio, and these guys tweak this and that, and they can make things sound great. I went to Journey a few years ago. The sound was impeccable. But did the band sound anything remotely close to what I witnessed in 1981? Nope. Pretty good. Not bad. I could point to 3 or 4 Journey tribute bands that can do that for a lot less money. I know it's not Neil Sean. It's not Jonathan Cain. It's not Dean Castronovo. I love all those guys, and I would go see them if they were 10, 20 minutes down the road. I would probably go and check it out just because they're in the neighborhood. But to spend, 2 or 3 hours driving each way and dealing with all of that, and then having that experience, it's kind of like once you've had a super high level experience back in the old days with a concert, you're like, well, that's how I work. I'm not like, I want to just keep repeating this experience and hope the next time it's going to be the best one. I go, no, I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to say, wow, did this band go downhill? But 90% of the time, that's what happens. There are some exceptions to that rule. I mean, if you're going to go see John Anderson performing, I would say do it. He's fantastic. But again, he can't be like 3 hours away, and the tickets can't be like $300 each. And I just don't want to do that. And so a lot of people think I'm weird. I would rather, there's a lot of that weird word going around right now because, people that like a certain presidential candidate or whatever, they're considered weird. Well, you can consider me weird, right? I'd rather be at home, comfortable at 9:30, putting my head on the pillow and thanking God for another day. And that's enough. I don't need to be driving around at midnight with my eyes glazing over because I'm tired, and if I drink a coffee, then I won't be able to go to sleep. I mean, all of these different things that I think about, and I don't think it's worth it to go most of the time. And a couple of rock star friends have gotten on me. It's like, I could be playing in your backyard, and you would say, I'm not driving that far to go and see you. I would probably open the blinds and look through and say, yeah, these guys are pretty good. They're not bad. I'll make exceptions to this rule. I always say, here's another thing. If somebody wants to send me an Uber or a limo, yeah, that might help. That might help because after the concert, I could just kick back and not worry about driving off the road. I mean, there are no cons. People say, well, Dave, why don't you buy a hotel room? We get into that. Okay, so another $300, $200 for a hotel room on top of that. And then everybody's got to get time off because the concert is on a Tuesday night or something, and then I have a 10-year-old. What am I going to do with the 10-year-old? Well, you bring him with you. Yeah, okay. You don't know my 10-year-old. I'm not going to be able to bring him with me. He has gone to the concert he went to is the shirt I'm wearing, and he loved it. But it was like 2 hours, and it was earlier, and it was easy. It was an easier show. It wasn't getting out at midnight or any stupid time. I don't know how people go to Bruce Springsteen. That's just dumb to me. Maybe when I was 25 years old, I'd be like, yeah, let's do this. But this demographic with these bands, the way they sound and all of the things that go along, they're still selling tickets though. They are, a lot of them are attracting younger people to go because the younger people understand that this band, even in its diminished form, is better than about 95% of the music that they hear, like the newer material that's out there. So some of them are like, hey, let's go see this band from the 80s who are unfortunately still out there on the road. They're going to be better. Maybe they're going to wonder about the singer or the arrangements a little bit, because I'm sure they're used to hearing the music on the radio. And so that might throw them for a loop, but it's still better, I guess, than the stuff that's out there than listening to, say, Britney Spears or Taylor Swift, who is ruling the world right now. Just, we have come a very long way in the opposite direction. And so anyway, yeah, I would go see an occasional concert, but for the most part, when patrons tell me these things, I say, you know what? I'm glad you went. I'm glad you're excited about this. You're trying to sell it to me. I'm just like, yeah, no, I wouldn't drive the 2 or 3 hours to go see that, but I'm glad you had a good time. Well, why wouldn't you go? I mean, I just explained that in this video, but a lot of it has to do with seeing these bands in their prime, at their peak, and there's nothing that's going to top that. It just, the improved sound system is not going to help when the singer can't hit the note that the singer is, or a lot of people don't realize that they're starting the song in a much lower key. I hear it all the time and I go, oh, they're singing Hot Blooded, but it's not the Hot Blooded I'm used to hearing. And anyway, some of you don't care, and that's fine too. That's fine too. I just, at this point in my life, I'm not going to waste like $400 and a lot of my time. And then the next day, by the way, without even drinking, you wake up and you're like, oh man, like your ears are ringing and you're tired and you've just messed up your routine. And for me, it takes like another day or two to get back into the old routine. And so that's a thing. Even this concert I went to, and I was like, wow, that was kind of loud. And the next day I'm thinking to myself, well, it was worth it, because my 10-year-old, number one, he saw a great concert, but the message that the band was sending out there was a message of love and hope and faith, and obviously belief in Jesus Christ. And so I'm actually more prone to go and listen to things like that, to hear things and see things like that. So, if you're a great Christian band and you're not too far from me, I think I'm going to a show in October. So that'll be fun. I'm pretty sure it'll be fun, because it's not too far away from me. All right. This is the band FM, and coincidentally, their album is called Old Habits Die Hard. Oh, yeah. Curmudgeon Dave, the Real Music Observer. That's me. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I will talk to everyone soon.